All right, special welcome once again to every one of us for joining in, right? The room is full. Our guest is right in the room as well. I'll give a shout out to everyone who is joining right now. Our very own host is in the room, Dr. Gbenga Alalade. Thank you so much. We have David Audu, shout out to Bukola, Praise. Um, Let me see, hope I'm not missing some people's name, right? Um, Please, let's keep it buzzing, share with other people, right? We're getting started right away, so we can hit the goal running. I'm gonna pass it over to our host, the host of Just Design. But just as a form of overview, Just Design, if this is your first time of joining us, Joint Design is a community. This is a virtual community. Hopefully someday we'll get to meet physically, right? We have participants cut across from different part of the world, creatives, professionals, designers who join in, right, to share experiences, learn from those who have gone ahead, right? See how we can collaborate together, democratize design, and just do great work for humanity, right? This is why we do what we do. And the last episodes we've had, they have been amazing. If you have missed those episodes, you can actually relive the experience because they are right on our YouTube channel. So in the course of this session today, at the end, we'll share the link to our YouTube channel so that you can, watch the old other series you might have missed, and of course this replay as well will be put on our channel. So just be right home. Let me invite Dr. Gbenga Alalade for his welcome. Dr. Gbenga Alalade, please, you have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Owasheni. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I think I want to welcome everybody once again. I'm sure it'll be a great time. I think I want to apologize about we didn't provide password initially. I think there was not an error and it was asking for password, but that's done done, and so that's causing, a bit of delay for our participants. But I can be sure that our host has been here before 7, and I'm sure that our speaker is on. I'm sure that we'll get at him right now. I think Architect Bosheni, please kindly take the profile of our guest for today, and then let's get right to business. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for that, Dr. Gbenga. So are we ready? Please do be a good friend. This is the time to be a good colleague, a good professional by sharing this meeting detail with other people that should be part of this call. Let me get to introduce our guest today. Architect Kene is the principal partner of Kene Mgbemena and Associates Limited, right? An architecture and project management firm based in Lagos. He started his architecture education at an early age at Yaba College of Technology, where he graduated with a national diploma before getting admission in Covenant, where he badged a BSc and MSc in architecture. While in Covenant University, he founded the annual Archifees program, a town of Ghana initiative with the aim of closing the gap between architecture education and practice. He was also president of the Architecture Student Association. Architect Kene started his professional career in 2009 at the prestigious firm ACCL, where he worked on numerous high-profile projects before launching out on his own in 2015. Over the years, KMA Architects has worked with several A-list companies such as Nestor Limited, First Bank PLC, Leadway Assurance PLC, Nestive Aviation, Jeddah Limited, Airpeace Limited in various capacities, ranging from development consultants, project manager, architects, and EPC project coordinators. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's honor and celebrate Architect Kene Mgbemena to just design. Are you giving a clap emoji in the chat, please? Let's make welcome Architect Kene as he shares his design journey. Architect Kene, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the host. Thank you, Just Design. I'm really happy to be here. I was excited when Gbenga said I should come in and help narrate and help give insight into all what I, as a person, as an architect, and my firm has been going through. So thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so do we just dive? Am I allowed to just dive into my presentation?
Yes, please. You have the floor. After now, we'll take Q&A, and then we'll engage in other questions that may arise.
Okay, so I'll start with the presentation. It was on the screen previously. I don't think I can see it anymore.
Okay, you can share your screen now if you want to.
Okay, just a second. I'll just ask, can anybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Put it on full screen, or is it okay this way?
Is it on full screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let me see. Sorry, 1 minute. I have two screens here, so I'm struggling with which one.
Okay.
Is it on full screen now?
Not yet. But maybe you could proceed with this if you're fine with it.
Okay, I'm fine with it, but everybody can. Okay,
yeah, we can see.
So I'll read out the content. So the content number 1 is how I navigated through school of architecture, identifying hacks that can help students of architecture and aspiring designers find their way through an architecture process. Okay, so studying architecture is quite a unique, exercise, a unique journey. So I've written a couple of things which I put together. So I'll start by saying the first question Okay. The first question anyone going to architecture should ask themselves is architecture the right program for you? And a lot of times, and I'll speak about my own experience, a lot of times you find people who have found themselves studying architecture for some reason or the other, maybe based on what our parents have asked you to do, or if it was in some other schools, maybe due to some requirements, admission requirement, you find yourself in architecture. So for you to excel in architecture, be able to go through the rigorous demands of architecture education, particularly in school, is to be sure that program is right for you. How you have ended up there could be various couple of reasons, but I would say, I believe everybody here has already answered that question for themselves. So I believe we're all on the same plate. So secondly, early in architecture is good for you to have, to get a mentor. It could start as a joke, like you saying, oh, okay, you admire the works of Frank Lloyd Wright, or who else did we study back then in school? Philip Johnson and all of that. So the word here is inspire yourself, because you're going through a rigorous journey. What keeps you going is that picture that you have in your mind. What's pushing, what's propelling, and you try to make it as fun as much as possible. I think back then in school, we're inspired by a lot of foreign architects at that time. Frank Lloyd Wright was my most favorite one, whom I liked, clean lines, floating elements. So that helps you to the rigor, helps you see the fun part of it. There's no judgment in saying, oh, you're copying this famous architect design. It just helps you through. It will help you through those early stages when things are a bit tough. Eventually, those things you've done would help you in practice. So one important thing of trying to find your way through school is to get a mentor. So for me at that time, my mentor was Frank Lloyd Wright and some other, Philip Johnson, who did a lot of clean buildings back then in the 70s. So that made it exciting for me. So anytime you get a project to do in school, which was normally our design studios, you kind of tag along the research on these buildings that these great architects have done, and that gives you a sense of meaning, a sense of direction. Assignments in schools can be very, very rigorous, takes a lot of time. So having a mentor, inspiring yourself, doing the research helps and puts you through it. That's why I said, that's what I mean by saying, make sure you inspire yourself. The third one with school is being in the right association. When I mean association, I mean with the right group of people. Not that we're saying, oh, this set of people are this, people are that. But my own personal experience, I was a Yaba Tech for a while before I got back into BSc program. So a lot of courses that would have proven to be a challenge at that time, which was the non-core courses like the maths, the physics, the chemistry, year 1 and 2. Those courses really derail a lot of people, because even if they were good architects or good designers, realize that some of those few courses you did at your early stages, year 1, year 2, if you did badly in them, it can really derail you in even your main core, even though you're a fantastic designer. We had a couple of students who fantastic designers, but having one carryover here, one carryover there, impacted on their ability to actually stay focused on main core of architecture. So with the right association, what I mean is, if you see yourself short in maybe a math course, a physics course, a chemistry course, you should align yourself with certain groups of people who you think are doing great in those things, and align with them, catch up with them, study with them. It helps a lot. I remember very well a good friend of mine, Ajijola, who called Tinubu, excellent guy, maths, physics. I literally would leave my room most times and spend nights in his room so that we could catch up on work, catch up on studying. Why I'm saying this is because what this the content here is in how you navigate your way through school. Other courses you do could impact on your success as studying architecture and focusing on architecture. So at the early stages, allow yourself the right group of people who you think are better in certain areas than you are. Stay with them. With time, you will catch up. When you do that, it allows you focus and it gives you more confidence in your main core architecture. So that's what I mean by saying, make sure you align yourself with the right people who are doing better in other things. And another thing with architecture for me was making sure you have a lot of ample time, a lot of alone time. My best times in school were during holidays when maybe everybody has gone home to the break. I recall spending Christmas in school, spending, maybe not New Year, but I recall spending a lot of holidays in school and you're walking down to school and you're literally the only one at the center of the school roundabout. For dinner, we'll either go to Kekai's house or go to Wale's house, eat something. So those, what I'm saying, those alone times helps you think, meditate, and actually put more time in your work. So you need to have a lot of alone time in architecture. Studying architecture means when people are going out, partying or having fun, you should not be pressed to leave what you have to do. So architecture will single you out from your friends. Architecture will isolate you because the truth of the matter is a lot of other courses do not require as much time we do with our work. So do not be scared if you see yourself being alone. Everybody's out doing one thing or the other, and then you have to stay by yourself. So I had a lot of the best times actually when I stayed in school. And then when I was alone in school, you could stay throughout the studio doing your work because there's barely anybody in school. So that helped me push my work beyond limit, beyond barriers. I literally could start my project all over again during the holiday, even when it was 6% done, 6% of the semester had gone. And when the holiday kicks in, I literally start all over again. So give yourself ample time, give yourself alone time, and focus on what you have to do. Another thing I did was, because of my background from Yaba Tech always had these IT programs. So every time we were on break, there was an IT program. So no break went by where I didn't associate myself with one construction company or the other. I worked with a couple of breaks. I worked with the construction team who built most of the hostels in school. Stayed behind during Sheila as well, working on construction work. So that gives you insight into most of these things you design during your design studio and see how it's being done on site. And at some point, it helps you with your detailing. When you know how that reinforcement is put together, that team member is put. I can remember clearly designing a building that had a steel roof. And I didn't even know what the details was going to be like. I just walked across the science building. I went in behind the cafe and doing the science block. And that was my first steel roof structure I saw. I spent time there. It was an open carcass building, still going on construction. There's nobody on site then, making sketches of the trusses, how they're anchored to either the columns, using the guzet plates and all of that. So industrial training works. It gives you insight into a lot of these things that you may not be conversant with while doing your design. So that was always good. So I employ every architecture student, no matter how short the break is, people that are paying you or not paying you. Most times you don't get paid for a quick 2 months IT, 3 months IT. Just go somewhere, participate in construction projects, stay there. Sometimes they just give you work, count bags of cement, count blocks. Just stay, just put yourself through it, and you always pick up something. Your mind picks up a lot of things that you don't necessarily know. And then when you start displaying it, you don't remember, oh, I'm actually displaying it because I actually saw this somewhere. So industrial training is good. And which was school work, that's about number 6, your school work, no matter what it is, make it fun, explore. If they say, okay, do this particular report, go beyond that, explore, put your own tweak into it. I recall with history of architecture, when we're given assignments on classical buildings, I know, or the orders of the Greek orders at that time, I would also attach like an essay at the back as appendix, just to give my own insight into what I feel the architecture should be, or what they should have done, or what the interpretation of the architecture would be in our present time. So with all your schoolwork, do not go minimal, go above and beyond. It could look childish. At that time, it's going to say, you do too much, you're overdoing. But I would say no, because right now when you're out here, the more you add value to your clients, the more value they give to you. So with every schoolwork assignment you have, every schoolwork you do, you just need to go above and beyond what they've asked, what the scope is. It takes time. It's more time consuming, but you have to be invested in the process for you to be able to get to that point. So in summary, I would say whatever work, be history, architecture, be design studio, most of us that graduated are working now. Whatever you're doing, just put your best and go above and beyond. There's this documentary on Netflix called is it the Gold Medal, where they single out people that have won gold medals. Not gold medals, sorry. There's a medal they give to soldiers or people infantry that have gone above and beyond in serving the nation. So it's a good documentary that should help how people within the confine of whatever it is they're going through are able to do that. So putting that to what I'm saying right now is my assignments, do not limit yourself. Explore, tweak it around and see, and push your own human touch to it as well. And then, so that helps a lot in opening your mind and giving you the training that you think you need when you leave school. So I'll move on to the next content, which is, how I got my first job. So before I say how I got my first job, so I just asked the host, is it how I got my own first job, or how I think should be the considerations in getting your first job?
I think it's your journey, so you can share with us how you.
My journey. Okay, so I would say what influenced me my first job. So I tell people I've only applied for a job once in my life, and then what I applied for was where I worked for about 7 years. So I knew you have to know what you want. What are you looking out for after school? What's the first thing you want to do? You need to have insight into where you are going to be able to know, okay, this is what I think should be the first training I should get if I move on to this. So as I've said here, in deciding your career path, architecture has a lot of branches. You do consultancy, you go into construction, you go to project management, you go into other smaller bits, into interior design and all of that. But you need to decide what comes first for you. I put the word sustainability here, meaning that you need to be careful. There are a lot of branch architecture that are exciting, but are they sustainable? I know a lot of people after school, they went into animation. You just want to do animation. Yes, it was a lot of money then. Coming out of school, you're doing one render for 250,000 naira, you do 4 renders, that's $1 million naira. But now everybody has that software. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry can do that thing that was so expensive then now in minutes. In fact, some software is going to be better. So in choosing what you want to do, your career path, you decide what is the sequence, what do I have to do first, what's second. And in doing that, you also need to know what's sustainable, not something you do, and at the end of the day, it becomes obsolete. There was a very popular company called Mindza. I don't know who knows Mindza at that time. Mindza was one of the leading 3D guys. They did a lot of job for ACCL, JCA. But now, I don't know if Mindza still exists, because every architecture firm in-house does their own stuff themselves, except a few jobs that you have to now go outside the office to do something that's really, really well. So I would say at that time, leaving school and say, okay, you want to do animation. Yeah, if you are quite dynamic and you go along with it, yes. Yeah, it could be profitable. So we need to know what sequence works. You know what sequence works. So for me, I had a bit of construction experience while studying. I wanted to be a consultant. I went to do super good consultancy. So I looked out for the most brilliant, in my opinion, the most brilliant, the most hardworking, the most popular, the best firm at that time. There was a few of them then. You had JCA, you had ACCL, Cliff CCP now wasn't as big as the FMA was there. I went around, when you go around Lagos, that's why I said, number two, I said, keep your eye in town. So you need to know what's happening in town. As an architecture student, about going, I should know what are the popular buildings in town, what are the popular firms in town, what are the popular projects in town. So keep an eye on town and know who's doing what and who's doing what best. So for all the firms I knew, I chose the firm I thought was the best. The most firm that provided the most rigorous training experience, that was ACCL. So that was how, and applied straight to them. So while in school, in fact, when I was doing I remember my first IT was in ACCL after my MSc 1, that's in master's level. And my last project, which was our MSc 1 design studio, I did that project because I wanted to submit that package at the office to ACCL as my portfolio for to work with them. So that was what inspired me on that project. So that project was done because I wanted to work in a particular place. And I finished the project, printed out the copy, sent it to them, asked for IT placement. I think I got to do like 3 months IT with them. Because after doing that, after doing my MSc2, there was no issue. I just walked back straight in. So I would say you need to know what you want to do. I would advise people. I was employing I went to employ someone in project management role. He was just out of school and said, "Went to project management." I don't think you can get out of school and do project management. It doesn't just work, particularly in construction. Even though you give school, even though after MSc, maybe you go and do an MSc in project management, you can't just come out of school and do the MSc project management for a construction company. You have to have gone through the rigor. You have to have gone through the rigor of the practice, because project management is about knowing the details. You don't know the details of, okay, for example, you're trying to quantify certain loads of work someone can do. You've not gone through that rigor on site, or gone through that rigor as a consultant. You cannot project manage it. So knowing the sequences, well, otherwise, a project manager, you can't jump. You need to go through a detailed training. So either you go in there as an architect, you go in as a builder, or go to construction. After learning all the experience, you can now go to project management. So know the sequence of what you want to do and start at the right place. Yeah, a couple of people have left right out of school and have launched companies and all of that, which is fine as well. There could be differences to that. So again, for me, I went to be a consultant, and I looked for the best firm. While in school, I was already making contact with them. I did my project the best of my ability so that I could get into those firms. And I applied once, and I got the job once, and that's actually the only application letter I've ever written in my life, if I recall. So that's how I got my first job. So knowing where you want to go to why your school is important, and engineering yourself, aligning yourself to the requirements of those firms. ACC only did Revit. I studied my Revit wide before I left school, so I got it easily. So that, I say, is the summary of it. Know where you want to go to. Get the best guys who offer that training. ACC was a very rigorous place, very tough place. So I worked towards that if I got in there. So know where you want to go to, know what you want to end up, and work towards it. Thank you. Next slide, we have, sorry, the next one. Okay, growing in career. Okay, so this is growing in career within where I was working. So working in an architectural firm, for me, where I work with an architectural firm, pure consultancy, project management, no construction, just pure consultancy, a lot of drawings, a lot of design work, a lot of competitions. It's tough, particularly if you work in Lagos. Lagos is a place whereby you need toughness to even stay in the city, and then the other 50% is toughness to the job. So maybe in Abuja, it would be maybe 10% staying in the city, and then 90% on the job. But in Lagos, it's 50-50. Getting to work every day is as tedious as putting your best at work. So you need to show up. I saw something that said, no matter how you feel, dress up, get up, dress up, and show up. But not just showing up with the right attitude to learn, right attitude to make impact. So it's difficult, it's hard. A lot of people cannot stay too long on jobs. They will either find somewhere else, think it's going to be easier there. So I stayed in the firm for about 7 years. It was tough, getting up every morning, going in there, doing what you have to do. One night works. So consistency. But what keeps you at it, right? What keeps you at it is where you see yourself going to. I want to be the best consultant I could be. And if I stayed enough in this firm, I would get there. So while it was tough in there, I could see what I was grabbing from all that toughness, all that. This year was a firm people would literally lose it. People would literally cry. What am I doing here? But it was tough like that. But because you know the experience you're trying to get in there. So when it's that tough, you just keep going at it. I had personal experience. My boss then had one perfume he used to wear when it comes to office. And so when you're walking, so the door is behind me, so I'm walking. So I don't see when it comes. It's what I first know is around when I smell the perfume. So the smell of that perfume was really very, very scary. And recently, maybe like 2-3 years back, I was somewhere and I got that smell again, and I literally got depressed just on the spot. So that's the kind of impact you get. So it's tough staying there, but you have to show up. So consistency is there. When bosses like people that are consistent, they give you more stuff to do. So staying in it and showing up right attitude helps you grow in a firm. And then volunteer. If you have free time, work in different teams. If you have free time on your hands, nothing stopping you from volunteering. Oh, you guys are having a competition submission maybe in 2 days, and oh, let me help you guys do this. I can do that. So volunteer to help your colleagues at the office. Volunteer to help them get things done. That was also good. Then working on your projects, you do your projects like everything ends on your table. So I learned that early enough. My boss always tell me, see, take ownership of this project. Do not do a project knowing that, okay, because I'm going to pass it through my boss, I can afford to just do it half-baked. At the end of the day, he's going to go through it. And if we send out the client like that, it's not that we get the beating, it's him. So take ownership of your project, do it like the stuff on your table, and put in your best. Then also devote your time to your work. Good time takes work to get done. Best time that in the office for me was, it's hard to get a lot of good work done in the office when everybody's there. It's a large office, good interaction and everything. But I recall that the times when I actually did amazing things or did things that push you from a certain level to another level were those alone times. When you stay in the office at night, when you came over the weekend, when everybody had gone and you could actually sit down and get your job done. Coming in early, devoting your time to it. So it's tough, but you have to have tough skin for it. So spend a lot of time, devote your time to it. Weekends were like, why ain't a big deal for us? Because of how Lagos was, I probably resume work on Sunday, but I don't be caught in Monday traffic. So Sunday evening about 5, 6, I get to the office, staying there, start up early in the morning. So I do like Monday, Sunday in, Monday, Tuesday, I go home Tuesday, Wednesday I also go home. Then Thursday, Friday is normal. Thursday night is always office night. So you need to devote time to your work. It's not architecture work, is not something you do, and good work takes time. So do not be scared that you're devoting so much time to it. That's why it entails, and that's what it is. Then lastly, you know your career, good relationship with your co-workers. I'm not saying you suck up to bosses and all of that. I never did that. Be yourself though. Do not try to change who you are. Be yourself. But anybody with a good head on the shoulders should relate properly to people. Be nice. Shouldn't be seen as the odd one out. So be yourself. Have good interaction relationship. People have functions outside the office. You know, your workmate is having a function. People are getting married. Attend. Try and be one with your workmates. It also helps you grow, because in the office a lot of competition. So people always bend for people who they consider their friends. So be kind to people, be friends with people, give it your best. I'm not such a friendly person, but you just need to always open up and interact with people. So with that, you'll be able to get favors from the office, and really those favors helps you with your output at the end of the day. So I'll move on to the next slide, which is starting my firm. So this is a tough one. You actually, will I say, there's actually no line when you say, okay, this is when I actually started. Some people say when I registered my company at CAC, but they always ask me all the time, when did you start? And sometimes you want to allow me to go, when did I register my company? No. I can't give place when I started, but you just have to start with what you have. I left ACCL in 2014 and traveled for a bit and then came back. So start with what you have, start small. You have to start with a project, though, no doubt. I started with a project, but the project wasn't really a decisive factor for me to start. I knew I was going to stay in ACCL at a particular time and I was going to leave at a particular time. After a professional exam, I stayed about a year and a half and then I left. So in starting, before you go in somewhere, you need to have what's the end game for you? When do you want to start? When do you want to leave? So I left when I wanted to leave. I wouldn't actually say I left with a big commission, with a big brief. Most people will say, okay, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for that before I leave. It's kind of dicey because the more you stay where you think you shouldn't stay, the more you're looking at opportunities for other things to come when you're out by yourself. So yes, while it is economically safe, I had a lot of support. I was married at that time, but I had a lot of family support, so I could afford to go out of paid employment and know that I would not starve and I would not suffer. There wasn't any kids. I didn't have any kids then. My wife was abroad, so she was okay. I could manage myself here, so I could afford economically. I could afford to say, okay, I'm going out, and if I don't have anything, so it's different for other people. So I left at the time I said I would leave, without any major jobs on my hand, because I knew I wanted to start something, and so that's how I started. But start small. I stayed in my house. My family left, so one day I was looking for offices where I would work. I didn't want to share living spaces and office space, but nothing I could do. So I moved all the furniture in my living room to a garage with my parents owned, and I turned the living room to an office. So that was where I was. I got my first staff. So it was a big at the back of the main house that I stayed from, just the living room. And we walked like that, had like three tables, and then you're walking and then you're feeling sleepy. I go to the room and sleep and come back and eat. But that afforded me to work night and day. I could work, go in, sleep, come out again, work. I had one staff at that time, then another one joined us. So start small, think big or start small, start with what you have right now. You hear people saying, oh, I want to open a firm, but it's going to be very, very expensive. I need to get that. Start what you have, my friend. Start with whatever it is. You have a laptop, buy a good printer, get stationaries, and then start. So I started in my living room, took out the furniture there. Then there's always that first break. There's always that first job. So that first job is not the job that brings, when I say there's that first break, is not the monetary aspect of the first of the job, is the opportunity that job will offer you. So when you're looking out for that first break, it's not necessarily monetary terms. It's what the significance of that job is. So my first job after I left ACCL was a house in Enugu. He started up as a sketch. He called me, had the design already, ready to go to site. And sorry, the host, if I'm taking too long on any of these items, just style to jab me. So it was a sketch job. The man was ready to go to site. He said, okay, help me look at this and let me see if somebody has one go to site. So I printed it out, just marked up on it and submitted it back to him casually. And he came back and said, oh, he liked my comments on it. I should do a whole new design. In fact, we tell the whole new design, and that's how we did that first job. So the job is very important to me because one of the jobs I designed 100% myself, sat on it. The client was patient with me. He knew was trying to do something very, very different. So we took our time on it and it came out really, really nice. So that was the first job that exposed me to other clients as well. So there's always that first job. You need to be looking out for it. It may not come monetary, but it's a job that exposes you to other projects. So look out for it. It was important. Then once you start your firm, you build capacity. IT infrastructure, we all work on computers. The computers should be the best computers. Capacity-wise, power is a big issue for us. In the firm I work, it's still have 24 hours light. The virtue of the fact they did that was because the office was housed in a complex that had a hospital. So the hospital was needed 24 hours power. So it was light in the office. So you could go out on a Friday, come back early Saturday morning, as early as 4, 5 a.m. and there's light in the office for you to work. The issue of, oh, you're off the gen. The gen is not this. Starting up, I think you try as much as possible to make sure you have power. IT infrastructure, your printers, your system, invest in it. Invest in things that at short time, you can print, you can do a work, print something looking really nice, bind it yourself without saying, oh, I have to go to Document to buy something, I have to go here to print something. Make sure you're self-sufficient as much as possible. It's not easy, but with time you get there. But invest in being self-sufficient because speed is also important with this work. So I'm able to do my work, print it, bind it in my office to whatever standard it is, and take your presentation. So build capacity, IT infrastructure, power. Then also show capacity. What I mean by showing capacity is don't let your client think you're a startup. Make them think you're as big as they can think you are. Yes, it means you need to take some views on your own. I have clients like they give me a brief, I go all out and get the job done up to concept level without even asking for a fee. You need to show you are not hungry. You need to show you are not looking for, you're not struggling. Even if you are, you don't need to show them that you're hungry. So what I mean showing capacity is do as much as you can without some clients are funny, yes. I know some clients want to do jobs for free. For those clients you would know. But there's some clients who are just busy and need to solve problems for them and don't be their problem. So I cannot give you a brief. For me, some people will say it differently. But starting up with new clients that are new to you, for me, a client cannot give me a brief and I'm saying, okay, drop advance payments. He's a new client. Obviously, he has built before. He has other options. Yes, there have been some bad lessons to say, okay, they gave me concept. I'm saying my own opinion. So this is not like saying this is what it should be for everybody. Showing capacity in my own sense means that you push your project to a certain extent. You need to take in some views on your own. And before you when you think you're in a comfortable stage, you cannot request. So I for me do not request for a lot of fees until I've gone past that concept stage because I've sort of gotten one leg in the door. So starting up is important. You do that. You may do a lot of jobs that never get anywhere. You just have to hope and pray that you're talking to the right people. So that's what I mean by showing capacity. I have colleagues. I don't very funny colleagues. Yes, some clients owe and all of that. You don't have to fight. You don't have to fight clients when they owe you. I have people that, the client is owing us and they start texting the client messages, harassing clients. Although you know the client has capacity to pay you. It's like a client is maybe MD or a director in a major infrastructure that everybody knows. And because he's owing you on one fee or the other, you now start WhatsApping or texting him. So you don't do that. You don't fight with your clients. You don't show that, oh, it's do or die. Once you've done a good job, they will come back. Tell me, once I give you my concept design, I sit down, fold my hands and put my legs on. You will come back. No matter how long it takes, you will come back. So show that capacity. Then in terms of growth, challenge yourself to move from, make sure I give your office what you need. I moved from my house to an office at Amuo, which was maybe a 20-minute drive. At that time, it was doable. But in challenging yourself, do not limit yourself to where you are. So you know you want to get somewhere. You may not have all the resources at that time, but you know it's possible. Challenge yourself is not in your comfort zone. Well, I need a bigger office. I need this printer. I need to buy these systems. The more you think about it, the more you talk about it, it's going to get there. So you want to buy a print, you want to buy a system, maybe it's $1 million. If you have, whatever you have, call the guy, throw at him and say, okay, I want to buy this, start. Yes, you cannot afford it based on your books. The books have said, oh, you cannot afford the $1 million system. But yes, you know you need it because you do renders very fast and get it across. Challenge yourself, start. I have clients that they don't have so much money, but they get things done. You don't have to wait till you get everything in the pack. You could have one pack, spread it around, do certain things, push. So I paid rent in an office which was quite small for me. And before the other event ended, I saw opportunity to go somewhere bigger. And I also told them I'm interested. I didn't have all the money at that time, but just paid half. And then before you knew, you grow capacity. So when you challenge yourself, somehow your body grows capacity to meet up. It's like you say that I want to be able to do certain things. I won't say financially, but financial wise as well. When you throw that challenge at yourself, unconsciously your body and your system and your thinking gets you there. And you realize that, oh, that thing I thought that will be a big deal for me is what I'm doing freely and looking for the next challenge. So push boundaries, challenge yourself, whatever you're doing and starting up. Then always put your best foot forward all the time. In any project you're doing, make sure you're giving it your best. Concept design, construct documentation, whatever you've learned, make sure whatever leaves your office, whatever leaves your table is the best it can be at that time. Thank you very much. I'll move on to the next slide, which is growing my firm. So from when I started, where I am now, things that I look back to see that I've contributed to, if we say success. It is no order of any sequence. I just put them down like that. It's a global village now, so I would say travel and look out for stuff when you travel. So traveling for architects is important. What has helped me was me being able to travel. I had Canadian residency, so I was able to go to a couple of places and get your US visa, get your UK visa, get your Schengen visa, be able to travel at short notice. It's expensive, but it helps. That clients that want to travel quickly or clients want to look up something, and again, when you travel, you're able to look out for things. I've been in discussions. There's a particular presentation we had with Alakija on Farm Towers, and they were discussing about a particular look for a restaurant. And then the husband was saying, "Oh, there's this design I saw somewhere in London, somewhere." He was finding hard to find out the place. And then the interior designer said, I forgot the name he said. Let me see, he said, "Oh, is it the Golden Fish restaurant in Park, blah, blah, blah." And he said, "Yes, that's it. And because you're able to connect to a client from maybe travel experience or somewhere he has been, and you're able to connect with him on that level, that's gone. That is all you need to get a project. So travel when you can, keep an eye out, take pictures as much as you can. Once you come back, archive them. London trip, November 2020 or something, Turkey trip, this. Travel documented for your personal growth as well. And for, you never know, we're discussing somewhere and someone's talking about something and you open your chance, "Oh, does it look like this? What do you think about this?" And people are comfortable, people they can connect with, and you know that you're well traveled. Show appreciation. Most of your clients should be your friends after a while because you solve problems for them. Show appreciation to your clients. If they're married, send gifts to the family, send gifts to the wives. Most of these guys listen to their wives a lot. So show appreciation, be in good terms with the family, be in good terms with your clients, outside and inside work. Attend events with them. Most of them appreciate those kind of things. So show appreciation to your clients. Then keep in your capacity, keep in your infrastructure capacity, keep in your power infrastructure. The whole what I mean is at every point in time, when there's a very, very short timeline, you are able to get it done. Also, because number 4, because everything right now is about costing, everybody's about is cost sensitive. You need to grow a lot of knowledge in costing and financing. So for us, for any presentation we send out, even our concept design, I'm giving you an idea of the cost of construction. And then we'll break it down. Say, okay, carcass is this, windows is this, doors is this, finishes is this, tiles is this. So right now, in-house, we have a QS in-house who's able to get that done for us very quickly. So as soon as I'm firming up on the concept design, he's already working on the square areas. And once you have a good QS, you can get it done very quickly. So imagine you're packaging a cost analysis alongside the concept design to your clients. You already see that way, you're already thinking about how he's going to get it done. And he has a budget already. Even though sometimes it goes way more than that, he still sees you as someone who is proactive. So cost is important. Get a lot of costing advice. Your QS should be, most times they mess you up, but they should be your best friend because they give cost. Anybody who's doing development knows it's going to cost money. they appreciate people that can give them advice on costing. So get a lot of costing knowledge and financial knowledge. Number 5 is being business minded. What's the next milestone? Be busy on a project. I was lucky to have worked in a firm where you had multiple directors. So you see some directors that are like teachers. They could be on one concept design for 1 year. They won't let you go until they know it is 100% accurate. There's no perfect design. Being business oriented means that there's no perfect design. You need money to come in. You need money to come in, you have to submit a concept design to send them an invoice. So whether it is 100% done, whether that toilet or bathroom is working, you need to know when to say, at this point, I have to stop designing. I need to move to the next thing. Package it, you send it out. Because at the end of the day, it's going to come back and make it work. So being business minded is what is the next step to get that next funding in. So you need to have a balance of doing very good work and also being business minded to know when you have to say, come on, guys, it's enough. We need to move. We need to submit this thing. So for us, you have the concept stage, you have documentation stage. So again, we normally do not send in invoice until we're done with the concept stage. So that's the first one. And then before you go to tender, when documentations are done. So having those milestones in mind, means that the milestones where your fund is coming is also key. And have that on how you structure work in the office. Number 6 is keeping the right association again and move with people you want to be like. So well, as a growing firm, you have people you meet, young professionals as well, they are doing way better than you. So you need to learn a lot from them. So mingle with people, have a couple of them, young guys like myself who are doing way better, who are commanding like, and these are maybe contractors commanding project worth in billions. So you have time, catch up with them, have a drink with them, get insight into how they're running their business. And you need to pick up a lot of things from them and help in your own business. Sometimes you be an overkill because you can't compare your small company to someone that is running a billion naira company. But you pick up some things and then you make it adapt to where you are. So keep the right company, move around companies that would inspire you. If you see someone who is doing better, who is managing better things, catch up with them, talk with them, pick up a few things and apply to your company. So that's what I mean by keeping the right association and moving people you like to be. Next one is, okay, I think we're at the point when discussing about my projects. So you working with ACCL, these are a couple of projects I've done that are really game changers for me. So Next Story Towers was a big one. Work on it from design to completion. It was designed by, it was a design and built by Julius Berger. Julius Berger reached out to ACCL for the concept and for architects on record. So after ACCL did that, ACCL was actually fired from the job, but we found our way back to be the project manager in terms of keeping an eye on what the project was doing. A lot of things are not like this project you see, Next Towers, was the budget and everything was already signed up before design started. It took the client somewhere to Germany, showed him some nice buildings, all of that. Project sum was signed off even before drawings. So we had to come back to look into that. So it was a good one for us. And we did that one. Farm Towers, which is just near completion now, was also a good one, started from design stage up to construction, but I wasn't with them when they finished up the construction. Working with ACCL, we did a lot of competitions. So what I learned ACCL was to do concept design. Competition was very key to us. So this was Lagos Polo Club that we did with JCA, I believe, and Cliff. At that time, ACCL won it. Of that one. So that's project that puts you under a lot of fire. And after that project, they're really tough. It's like passing through fire. And when you're out, so whatever you've learned on these things stays with you. So these are very good concepts endeavors we do this. This was GT Academy. This one didn't fly. It was for GT Bank, somewhere where you have landmark now. GT had that land. I went to do like an academy to train their staff. This was Lagos Motorboat Club, another futuristic design. This one is still in the book. So these were some major projects I did with ACCL, and which was part of influences for me. So moving into some designs we've done for ourselves. So we have put a bit of them together. So this is our first bank. This is a design competition, is winning entry, first bank. I think 2-3 years ago, first bank was looking to launch out 4 or 3 like hybrid branches. The architecture needed to be in that direction, futuristic. So this was our competition entry for the one in Abuja. And then this one, but they haven't moved forward with that. So this is another tough one for us. This is our hangar at the MM1 terminal. If you ever travel with airpiece or travel local, you probably see this often. It was so next up. So it's a hangar project and a lounge just by Overland hangars. So anytime you're taking off, it's just by the left before you take off on any domestic flight. This is another aviation hangar. So over the years, we've done one hangar. People keep referring us to hangars. This is Jet Air hangar. This is under construction. This is an MRO facility, offices, and hospitality facilities as well. The next one is this Marina Towers and Papa. So again, I think I might discuss on what my architecture style. So we like clean lines, clean geometry, clean lines, nothing too complicated. For us, the detail, the devil's in the detail. So a box can be clean and look nice if you get the details right. This is an event center in Okija, Anambra State. It's under construction. Amakop consultant by the contractors. EDCO is M&E consultant. So this should be finished next year. The shell is done, doing the air conditioning, acoustic panels. Again, talking about traveling, the acoustic panel is being done by an Israeli firm. I actually went there, had meetings with them. And even before the clients asked, I did on my own, went there, closed up the deal with the acoustic. It was about showing capacity as well. This is a small one for Jesus College or Kija. So it's a benefactor's pavilion. I like it because it's clean. And it's very clean lines, but it's rich in material. So you're blending ACP panels and non-composite panels with natural brick made in Enugu and wood ceiling. And then you have all this clear glass. So it's just that interplaying of very rich materials with very simple box. This concept was actually inspired by we had a container office at the same location. So there's container office, and then they built a aluminum roof with steel pipes. So this was the concept from me. So you can see we still got the concept of the steel pipes. Inside there is like a box, which was meant to emulate like the container. So that's another clean one. This is what it is right now. I'm on site, almost done with that. These are some of our endeavors in classical elements. This is a gatehouse in Okija as well. This is number 8 Alexander. We're in tender process. So again, what my architecture will be making things as simple as possible, overlaying planes, diversity material. So from stone cladding, cutting walls, wood finishes, looking at all work. We're not looking to reinvent or build a spaceship here. What's clean and what works for us. And so we try to do a lot of things. So I think that is okay. This is Enugu. This one is important to us because it was a while to get here. Is a residential villa in Enugu. It's huge because the clients wants his chopper to actually be able to land on it. So the main core of the building was like 22 by 20 meters already. So it's in Enugu, is near completion now. And so it was a good one for us. So I think that ends, okay, this was the first one I did in Enugu, which was the breakaway for me. This is a live picture. It is owned by director and investor here, Dr. And it was done in 2015. So this was the first project I did after leaving SSC. So that wraps up a couple of projects that we've done, wraps up my story. I could take questions now, but there's the last portion of it which I put in, which says architecture entrepreneurship, which I think I'd like to speak on. I don't know if I can speak on that first, or we'll take questions, or after the questions. Although I have not done any bullet points on that, I just added it last minute. Number 6, architectural entrepreneurship. What else you can do as an architect to make architecture is tough. Paying salaries on fees is really paying salaries on fees alone is really very tough. So what I'm going to discuss here will be other things to branch into to compensate. But when you run an office, and you have to pay salaries every month, you have bills every day. You can't rely on fees only. So this portion of it was to tell my own experience. I've been able to augment cash flow with other side gigs. So if it's okay by the host, we can take questions and then I'll talk about this as last bit. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Architect Kene, for this. Please, can we appreciate Architect Kene for this wonderful, insightful, inspiring sharing. It's always great hearing the journey, the story behind the glory everyone sees. We appreciate this. Thank you so much, Architect Kene, for sharing this. So this is a moment we are waiting for. So the floor is open to share and ask of whatever areas you still have as a concern or an area you would love to get some clarification in. The session has been quite insightful. I know different catching up moments you have taken notes of as depending on where you are on the journey, right? I feel some thoughts that they can share. We talked about something striking that, for example, for those who are currently concluding their design learning or education, as the case may be, on the role of mentorship, volunteering, and consistency. And for those who are maybe just beginning on their journey, on their career journey, also emphasize something. I don't know who took note of that. He said something about not don't let your client see you as a startup. Don't let your client see you as a startup. I mean, that's very striking. And you notice how he emphasized about not looking hungry and all of that. And one other thing I took note of was when Aktekene shared about the fact that I said when you challenge yourself, literally you unconsciously grow your capacity. When you challenge yourself, you unconsciously grow your capacity. I mean, that was pretty striking. So we can put in our question in the chat. If you want to ask verbally, just use the raise hand button so that we can take that in succession and Aktekene can take those questions, right? We want to appreciate everyone on the call. This is this December edition of Just Design. I want to give a shout out to everyone, those who have been consistent with us. Shout out to, I saw Professor Oluwole Alalade. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. We honor and celebrate all you represent. I remember Tekene was sharing how, they go to eat at, Dr. Ekaise and Professor Alagbe's, residence, right? We want to appreciate you for all that you do in raising a generation of design professionals. Thank you so much for everyone on the call, right? I can see some hands raised up. And if you want to also drop it in the chat, please, you can drop that in the chat so that we can also take that. Okay, so
how's it?
I think let's take the first person, John Elegu. John, could you please unmute and share and ask your question, please?
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is John, sir.
All right,
okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask my question because while the host was explaining some things to us, he made mention of not showing your clients that you are hungry, and he also said most times he actually get the design to the concept level before at some times you get to the concept level before funds come in. So I'm asking, based on experience, because sometimes I do interior design and I'm actually very strict on that aspect of money. So I want to know if it's actually a wrong narrative, because some of these clients, when you give them that space, they tend to keep taking different renderings in without paying. So most times what we do is either we decide not to send any and wait till payment comes in, or In fact, before we even start, there must be payment must come in before we even start. So I want to know if that is a wrong narrative, because sometimes I've actually lost different people because they complain, you're after money and the rest of them. But I understand that if we don't do it that way, most of them will just play us. And we that are upcoming architects, most times they try to override us, and the best way we think is to actually make the money mandatory before we start. So I want to know if that is a wrong narrative, because I've actually been growing with that. And although I feel it's wrong, but I just have my reasons why I think it's not wrong. So I want to know if it's actually a wrong narrative.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I think that's noted. Kene, would you like to take all of them?
Let me, yeah, I'd like to answer that.
Okay,
so,
okay, please go ahead.
Okay, what I've said is, don't let clients know you're hungry. For interior designer, there's nothing hard in doing a mood board. If you're on your doing a mood board can't take you more than half a day. So there's nothing wrong with doing a mood board. In fact, we put mood boards together in 1 or 2, 3 hours. Once the client has briefed you, I'm looking at it, okay, I want we're in a restaurant right now. The client has said, oh, I want a traditional feel in the restaurant. So if you have a lot of case studies up in your head, you put pictures of the lightings. If David is here, we're looking at the lighting made of baskets on the exterior. We're looking at stones to make it look traditional. So you can do a mood board. A good mood board is enough to convince the client that you know your onions, and then yes, you can now put in a fee for to progress. But a mood board shouldn't take you half a day. Go. If it's interior design. So I would say but it depends again. So if you start up as a new client, I think asking him for fee at that initial stage is going to be a turn off. Pay me an advance first. Do a mood board for interior designer. For sometimes for architects at that first point, if you think the concept is going to be a lot for you to do, you could do an outline sketch. So what you do is a size program floor thing. So if it's a piece of land, you could show the land, put in your setbacks, cut out some spaces, just quick sketch, and then you show pictures online of this is your thinking. So for the facade, this is how we're thinking. Show like several pictures. So before you know, you have a package that is like 10, 12 pages package, even without doing a lot of things, and print it out nicely, package it nicely, whatever you use, Corel Draw, that's enough. So if you can afford to go all right and do a concept design, it may take you a couple of days to do, or maybe a week or 2 weeks. You quickly cut out something. Interior design mood board is perfect. Everybody does mood board. For architecture layouts, you could cut something, but then you show your clients are interested in a lot. So if you have a land, okay, so you have a land like 639 square meters. These are the setbacks. So you have done your research. Setback in this area is this. These are your setbacks. You can go 2, 3 floors. There's what we call massing and stacking, where you show the floors in different levels. You know, they ask you to do a high-rise building, 14 floors, and mixed use. You know, you need your parking, you need offices, you need residential at the back. With all that, so I could, in a day or two, even though the 16 floor, 21 floor, once I get my setbacks, I know what the requirement is. I tell him, sir, with this, you're going to get 5 floors of parking, offices on these floors, apartment on these floors. With that, I can give you a square areas. I can give you a cost. So with just 2, 3 days work, I can get you a massing study, shows how the building is stacked. I don't know, David, you have a picture of what massing study looks like. So you could do a stacking and massing study up, show him his square areas. I already tell him how many square areas of office we have, how many square areas of residence you have, how many square of parking you have. You tie that to even construction price. So with just massing and study, you can let a client, they're going to spend 2, 3, 4, 5 billion to build this up. With that, you can also tell him how much ROI is going to get on per square meter. So you tell him in a year, so it's going to take you 2 billion to build this project. After the 3rd year, you start renting out the spaces at, I think it's $1,000 per square meter now in VI. So at every year, if you let out all these spaces, you're getting back this income. After 5 years, you start making profit without doing any design. Just with your knowledge of what you've done before. Then in terms of the facade, a lot of pictures everywhere. Putting nice pictures together. This is what we're looking at. Cladding here, this here, that here, swimming pool up here, all of that. Without so much investing into a lot of hard work. But what I'm saying I've gained over like a lot of 10 years experience. So I could offer that. So I would say for me, for a new, even my old clients, my old clients, you can't be asking them for a fee because those ones are like family to me. I would first put in some clients do not see progress until you tell them. If I have a client, until you tell him, oh, sir, we're ready to go to site, he doesn't see it as progress. It's until he says, we're ready to go to site, to start digging. That's where he knows that you have worked. So all those fancy pictures you are showing to him is not his own first milestone is, okay, we're ready to go to site, advanced contractor. Then you cannot invoice him for concept and then documentation. So do not let, I have a lot of friends that have there's a particular project we were doing long ago, Captain Noge, and I worked with the QS on the project. It was owing us, he didn't pay us, but I knew where the project was going. So I kept quiet. He would call me, I'll write the question once or twice. And then my QS was WhatsApping behind him in the middle of the night, telling him, sir, you're owing me. And at the end of the day, who is still with the client? So clients, because you're not the best at what you do because there's someone who's better. So clients always go back to people that are comfortable with. So you need to make sure your client is comfortable with you. Do not harass clients. Do not make them, particularly the clients that you know. It's like I work with a client who is established, who has a company, and then you're asking for maybe $500,000 naira because you did the concept. Where you know that the guy is worth billions. You could not afford to pay you at that time, yes, but you know what he's worth, you know where the company is going to. So stick with him. So for interior designers, a mood board is easy to do. For architects, if you can't do a concept design, do massing and stacking. Show your ROIs. Once you've done your massing and stacking, you know the square area per footprint. Call your QS. Right now, I think for a grade A contractor will be maybe like 403,000 naira per square meter. A big contractor will be 300,000. If it's indirect labor, maybe 250,000. So with that, you can already tell him without any design, it's like going to cost you Susan to do this to get this building up. And after you get the building up, with the square areas of the office space, you're going to start receiving. So they see insight into it. So yeah, I would say some clients are tough, but if it's a good client that has potentials, put in something first before you request for fees. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. That's striking. Okay, I see two additional hands up. Architect Jide, Sapphire Project. Could you share with us? Your hand is raised. Thank you so much for joining us. Architect Jide, are you there, sir?
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, Architect Kene. Even though I came late, I think I was able to pick a few things you said. My question is, so basically, I admire your work, especially those of you that are into practice. I admire what you guys are doing a lot. So my question, going straight to the question, what percentage of your, number one, do you do pro bono services? Do you provide pro bono services? And what percentage of your portfolio it's pro bono? And what do you use this pro bono to achieve? Is it pro bono on pro bono basis or pro bono to win the client or to win a job?
When you say pro bono, meaning that projects you do and you don't get any fee on it.
Yeah, like in the immediate, like when a client approaches you and is asking for, I think you mentioned a few things in with your last answer, but what percentage of this is
okay, pro bono generally?
Yeah, what percent? Yeah.
At any point in time, a pro bono can be a major one in the near future. So, I would say because of going a lot of capacity, yeah, we do a lot of pro bonos. I don't know what percentage it is, but I would say maybe is David here? David is online. That's one of my architects. Do quite a bit of pro bonos, hoping that it will come to life. So I would say like 25%. 25%.
Actually, is that fine, or are there additional thoughts to that?
Yeah, I think that's fine. So the second question is, do you these pro bono services, are they like, have they ever brought, or did they eventually turn out to be good investment? Like, did they turn out to brief eventually, probably in the future with these same clients?
Of course, yeah, yes, most of them do. Particularly with clients that maybe they want to be fast, they get something from you, and then you do it free for them, and then they go along, and then they get stuck, and then they come back. Then they come back, then you show them the shovel. So I don't say you show them the knife, but you show them the shovel. So it's a lot of them, But it's good to help clients because nothing sells you. People say, how do you market? Nothing sells an architect by, yet two clients are somewhere talking and he says, oh, I'd like to do something like that. He says, oh, I know a guy. When the client tells another client, oh, I know a guy, you will be surprised that client says he knows a guy. You've not done anything for him. He has not given you 1 naira, but he tell you, oh, he tells a friend of his, I know a guy. So that could be the lead. You never know where they will meet. Probably by the time where they meet you, you're probably sleeping at that time. So you do a lot of pro bono to give it your best. If you can afford to, so that's why I say grow capacity. Most times, because we don't have good working tools, that some favors are not easy for us to do. So I always like to have IT students in my office, always. So maybe 1 or 2. So at any time when those kind of pro bono team come, you create the IT students, you work with them on it. You can work for it in a day or 2, and then you shoot it out the best you can. So use the resources you can spare in the office and do pro bono stuff. So IT students do those kind of things for me. When I think, I don't know where it's going to. So yes, a lot of them do. And if they don't do directly, they also refer you to people. And when they refer you to people, they will say, oh, I know a guy. And they'll say, oh, he's a good guy. And that is all you need. I know a guy is a good guy. A good guy is because you didn't charge him for the one you did for him. That's what it tells you that you're a good person. So that alone is enough to sell you to a potential client somewhere. So it may not come in directly on that project, but because you've done it for somebody, you did it nicely, you will refer to somebody else. So it doesn't come in directly, but it comes on that project. So the main thing is you don't want people to refer you to somebody saying, oh, I know a guy, he's a good guy. So that works. So I'll say yes, it does come back.
All right, thank you so much, Architect Kene. So there are 2 questions or thereabout in the chat. I don't know if you could scroll to the chat so you can.
Okay.
I think the first one talking about design fees. Okay, I think. Okay, no. Let me read one. There's one I got personally. So it says, if people keep going to gain experience from top companies, just to open up our own company after some years, who then will be workers? Though narrative of being your boss is not a bad idea, but wouldn't it be better if we focus, if more focus is put on company's mission, vision, and goals, so people can have like minds, not necessarily to go to bid for themselves. So I think this question is talking about what is the place of entrepreneurship, or for those who want to keep working within existing organizations, is there hope for them, or should everybody, work for a practice and go start up something? I think that's what the person is asking, basically.
Okay, so no, not everybody may want to go out and start something on their own. I have where I worked for about 7 years. I have people that I met there and have left there. And yes, and they're still there and they're doing well. They've gone up the ranks. So some people are, so, and it depends on yourself. What do you see yourself as, really? I've always wanted to push. I wanted to lead my own team. So some people, you could do that within the confines of an existing company, no doubt. Again, it's what you want to do. So I've had people who have stayed in the company and they've grown up to be directors. You have Femi is in JCA. You have people in ACCL still there, and they've grown up. Before you know, maybe they're directors there, and maybe they head the company at some point. So for me, going in there, I knew what I want, and again, it's a bit of providence to me, because really, you may say you want this and God has other plans for you. But me going into the firm I worked in, I knew at the point in certain time I was going to leave. Because again, it's what you want for yourself. I'll be as open as I can because so do you want financial stability? That's the question, right? When I left ACCL in 2014, I think my salary was what, maybe 250, 280 at that time. And there are a lot of things I do now that I know I would not do if I was still there. It depends on who you want. You want financial stability. What do you want to do in your life? How big do you want to grow? If you want to grow very big and be flexible with your time, be flexible with income and venture into other businesses, you can't do that working for someone. So what do you want to do? So if you're okay at the place where you are, it's fine. If you have other plans to grow businesses, to be able to run a firm and then leave the firm for someone to run and go and venture into other aspects of your life. I want to retire at 45. So I can't be there working in a firm and still retire at 45. You have people that are 45 and still working in firms. No hard feelings, but I would like to do other things as well. So that was my plan going in there. So yes, if you have a very good firm, people are very comfortable with good firms. I know a lot of directors that they're doing very well. Still reports, you still have to come to work and all of that. May not be as flexible. But I tell you for free is the kind of experience you gain being on your own, where you know the ball falls, the shot falls on your table, cannot be compared. If like be an associate director in the biggest firm in the world, as long as you're reporting to somebody else, it can be compared to you who is running maybe a medium scale enterprise, and the shot falls on your table to take that final decision. That person is a better entrepreneur, is a better decision maker than you, who has to report to one person. So depends on what you want to do.
All right.
So
okay, thank you for that. So it's a personal career journey, and
personal career journey.
Yeah, I hope that helps. So the last question we have here is a 2-in-1.
Hello.
Okay, hello. Okay, I think somebody's speaking. Who's speaking, please?
Hi, this is Muamala.
What?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Please go ahead, sir. I think you are muted. You can unmute, please.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you now. Yeah.
All right. Good evening to everyone. Evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, how you doing? So I'll be very quick. The first is I want to ask, what's the impact? Obviously, we went to Alalade together. What's the impact of having your OND on your practice and your journey? And the other is I'm trying to put my thoughts together because I was actually driving. But the other one, I'll go back to the second one later. But the third one is with the advent of AI, artificial intelligence, what do you think the future of architecture is in the next, say, 20, 50 years to come? How relevant will the architect be in the construction space?
Okay, so
I don't know if to save time, I want you to answer the rest of questions together. So I want you to note that one from Architect while I
okay.
the other one so that I can take them once so we can save time. So there were two questions in one, and they were asking around design fees. So the question goes thus as, how do you charge for design works, right? And this relates to the second one, which was also talking about that how well were you able to translate charges for works using the architect scale of fees without scaring the clients away at the beginning of your startup? So those two questions regarding to costing, charging, and fees, especially at the beginning of the startup. That's one. So another one says, how have you been? Okay, let me give you a few seconds. Did you get that, sir?
So I got, how do you, apart from Career Zone, who spoke about impact of Urban Tech on my career and IA in architecture, then there's how do I charge fees and
yes, so
scale of fees.
Okay, so this third one says, how have you been able to make the work, how have you been able to make better the work culture in your firm when compared to your previous practice? how have you been able to make the work culture in your firm now, KMA, better compared to your previous practice? I think that's from Taye Layeni. And then the last question was around something you shared when you said, when you set goals for yourself, you set challenges for yourself, it helps to build your capacity. So this person said, how has that helped you to define what success means to you? That's from Johnson. How has this helped you to define what success means to you? How do you quantify success as an architect or a design professional? How has that helped you? So I think that's the last question we have. So you could just take them quickly in succession, so we could take it up and close from there.
Okay, I'll start with Oga Kuye's own impact of Yabatech. Yabatech was such a fun place. Kuye was Yabatech as well. It was such a brilliant place for everybody to be. Got in there fresh out of school. I wasn't really able to do a lot of work in Yabatech, but what Yabatech did for me was introduce me early enough to the rigor of architecture practice. And I got to absorb a lot of things. So I was fresh out of secondary school, maybe not stable enough to actually do my best, but all I did in Yabatech was actually grab stuff. And then when I found myself in a very stable environment like KMA University. KMA University is actually a very stable environment, no distractions whatsoever. So I just realized that all what I have grabbed, I wasn't able to do in Yabatech, I was able to do in KMA University. And Yabatech also introduced me very quickly to the rigor of architecture. So staying in studios overnight wasn't a problem. Tough draftings, interacting with other people was a problem when I got into KMA University. Yeah, Yaba was good with that early exposure. IA in architecture, to be honest, Kuya, I've not really thought about that. I'm still busy trying to meet timelines and trying to pay salaries and all of that. But I know from a client's perspective, the client will always still need us. And right now we've grown from just doing architecture, doing project management, to doing coordination, to helping clients procure a lot of things. So in as much as IA would make production things faster, but the concept is still us on architects do. So I think we would always to be relevant, no matter what happens to technology. And so you have to diversify. So they don't see you as just being, what's the word now? Just being someone that produces drawing, but being able to give good advice, knowledgeable advice. So he is not going to tell you, oh, this is how much you're going to cost to rent out this space, or this is how much I think you do and do that. So we'll still be there, but you need to also put other things. So right now we're doing architecture, doing project management, doing construction, we're doing procurement big time now. We're doing consultancy, development consultancy as well. So I don't think any IA is going to take over those kind of things. IA will take over the man hour, make the man hour shorter. Well, I think with regards that human touch rate, that discussing with your clients, sharing views, sharing ideas, is still going to be on us. So yeah, I think with IA will make more money because we're doing less tedious work, and then your experience will count. So maybe in future we'll be charging as doctors, charging for consultancy. So when you come to my office, you give you an invoice to pay to come and talk to me. So that's what we'll do. So yeah, we IA to make more money and then leave the hard work to the computers to do. Or just have to grow in knowledge. For design fee, with the scale of fees, some people pay scale of fees. I work with lead pay scales of fees. They only insist that the scale of fees covers from stage 1 to stage 3. Normally they will say, these days you say scale of fees covers only stage 1 and 2, because nobody knows how long stage 3 will take. But some clients pay scale of fees, and Leadway does that and work with them on a couple of projects. The other people really, we don't charge scale of fees. So what I always tell guys is, you quantify how much cost, what's your cost for this? So if you have one architect working on it for 2 weeks or for 1 month, architect salary is this is office, this, that, then you mark it up, and that gives you a fare. But some clients, again, you need to read in between the lines. I know clients that if you type other letter, type the letter, scale of fees, this, type it, scan it, send to them, you think you're going to dupe them. Some clients will just like the paper. You just write the paper, okay? this, that, blah, 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 write the millions there, and then they sign up. So it's down to clients. That's what I'm trying to explain. It's down to your clients. Old clients, you already know how much it is that they've done your previous project, so you kind of work around that. If it's a fresh client, you're not too sure, it's not paying scale of fees, quantify how much you invest in the project, and then mark up. So my profit is, so if the project maybe what the cost will be like maybe, I don't know, $100. You have to mark it up, take your profit out of it, take office infrastructure out of it, take stationaries out of it, and mark all that up. So the truth of the matter is, depending on experience, I can't really put the finger to how much to charge. I can advise based on the client, and it depends on what the scope of work is. You could do a project somewhere in the village and they don't require you to do anything. Even in Lagos here, you have all the drawings of the complete and all of that. So the job also influences it. So I can't say, I can advise based on the project. If you have a project and you say, okay, this is it, I can advise. Scale of fees. Okay, what would I do then? We'll give you scale of fees. The scale of fees is maybe what, 100 and something million, but then you look at it and no one's going to pay you this. You now tell them, okay, I'll give you 70% discount and bring it to as low as maybe 30, 50 million. That is still funny because nobody gives 70% discount. So the scale of it doesn't even really apply to some extent. So some companies pay, professional companies pay, but most companies, most organizations do not. So you just have to look at your overheads, look at what you have going on for you, look at what you intend to do. And yes, it's not far-fetched that, oh, you could just put some prices in there and you'll be shocked that client say, okay, that's fine, let's go. So study the client, study the requirements of what he wants you to do, and then that will influence. I can't put a finger on that. If you're good to have a client that pays case of fee, they will pay. Some companies do. Thank you. For better work culture from ACCL to KMA, looking back, a lot of things I do in my own firm now was structured from what I learned in ACCL. ACCL is quite a tough place, so I try not to do so much, in as much as people feel like I do so much, trying to enforce a lot of things. So I would say that what have I done differently? I'm not sure I'm the right place to answer that question. Maybe my colleagues and staff have to answer that. Well, we try to maybe more interpersonal relationship was all about the same age mate. There's nobody that's uniform, all about the same age bracket. So maybe they have more interaction, giving them a sense of belonging in the projects, giving them more room to make decisions on the project. Like you show yourself worthy enough for those kind of privileges. Yeah, so I think that's what we've done, all with the same age bracket here. So, but we're always working to do better things. Always working to do better things. Your staff are your best assets. Particularly the ones that have stayed with you for quite a bit. David Alder do with me. The first staff is done extraordinarily well. So proud that he's still with me, and I'm so happy. So we are hoping to do a lot more for our guys, assist, support them to grow as well. Lagos is a top place for anybody. So we're still building that up. So that's what I would say on that. The last one, challenges and success. How do you know you've made success? Really, you don't know until someone tells you, Kene, you really done a lot. Remember when you started? You don't really have time to look back and reflect and say, oh, you started here now, because you're busy year in, year out. You really don't have time to look back and say, okay, I've done well. But maybe when things start getting easier, if someone gives you a brief of 16 floors, and then in a month, it's easier. You're getting it done easy. Unlike when you're struggling with it. And so you're getting better quality of work done in shorter time, and is not breaking your back. Then I think that for me would be an indication that yes, you're actually making success. And what else? Yeah, having a more robust company, a more robust family, enabling environment is very key. An environment where everybody is easy to interact, everybody has ample space, systems are good. That for me is success. I don't know if I've answered that one regarding success. But that I would say is the only time that I would say, okay, yes, you hit me that, okay, we've grown from where we were to where we are now.
All right, thank you so much, Kene. This has been awesome. Please express your appreciation in the chat. And if you also have not shared with us your experience from this episode, please help us do that with the link in the chat, bit.ly/just design form, right? It's my pleasure to bring up Dr. Gbenga Alalade for his closing remarks. Please, let's welcome Dr. Gbenga Alalade, please.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Architect Abraham. I want to say a big thank you to Architect Kene Mgbemena. Well, we've been colleagues and friends and brothers over the last 19 years. So I want to say thank you very much, Architect Kene, for your very insightful, exhaustive, position. I want to say a big thank you. Well, this platform, as you know, is for aspiring designers, young designers to connect, share, and learn together. And I think Architect Kene has done a fantastic job this evening. Sorry, I'm far away out of location, and it's not where I can really get a lot of signal, but I think I'm trying to catch the World Cup fever. I'm somewhere here in Qatar, and so just please bear with me. But I think I'm very excited about Architect Kene's thoughts today. Architect Kene, thank you a lot. Thank you very much. I'm not surprised at the outputs you delivered today. Is what you really made of. You had that vibe in you the last ever since I knew you. So thank you very much. And to our participant, I want to say a big thank you. Sorry for the glitch at the beginning part of the of the webinar. We hope to do better next month. I want to say thank you a lot. Thank you very much. And we'll catch up with you next month. Please kindly ensure you try to fill the feedback form. It's very important for us that we can get your feedback and see how we can improve next time. And please note that the slide will be shared on our Instagram page and also on so that you can have it, everyone. And in case you want the slide, just send us your email address in the chat box here. I will send to you. So in the next 1 minute or 2 minutes, we'll be shutting down. Please kindly fill the feedback form and kindly send us your email address so we can share the slide with you. Thank you very much. We're deeply grateful and hope to catch you next month where we'll get new guests. We're looking at bringing some female architect next month. And so let's see how that goes. Thank you very much, Architect Kene. Thank you, Architect Kuya. Everyone, thank you. It's good to have you on board. We're truly grateful. Thank you. I'll have a good time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I welcome anybody who wants to reach out. I don't know if there's a WhatsApp group. When there's a WhatsApp group, please feel free to add me.
Yes, we have a Telegram group.
A Telegram group, okay, works fine. So please add me. Anybody wants to reach out for any more insights. My firm is located in Nikon, Lagos Island. We're always looking for better hands, better people. So anybody can reach me out and then we can discuss it further.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes. All right. So, please conclude, sir.
No, I said you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Just Design. You'll find the recording of the last 2 episodes and this one as well in the next couple of days. So where you can catch up with our different webinars. Thank you.
Okay, the link is in the chat for the YouTube channel. Honestly, at first I couldn't recognize Architect Kene. I don't know whether it's the birds, but thank you so much. We appreciate this experience today. And of course, for anyone of us, we say have a Merry Christmas, enjoy the holidays, and have a great 2023. It's back from here from Just Design team. We say have a great one. Bye for now.
Thank you.